First of all, congratulations to 12 Sports Hall of Fame.
Thanks. I'm honored to be here.
Tell me a little bit about what you remember from your high school career in the sports that you played.
I remember a lot. It was an important time in my life. I ended up at 5 state tournaments, and I was always most proud of that. And that feat is a real testament to the teams and the coaches that I've had. Not a lot of students or athletes growing up had access to the same kind of players and coaches that I was able to start out with, and actually in all 3 sports.
I would imagine that you and, well, maybe Jeremy Oligmuller, who else would have played in those same tournaments?
All 3. Oh boy, you're going to rack my brain here. Those 3, yeah, Jeremy Oligmuller didn't play basketball. It's easy just to go down to the basketball team. I don't think anybody had all 3.
CJ,
didn't play basketball. Yeah. He maybe played until sophomore or freshman year, maybe freshman, and then he was done. Yeah.
You talked about those state tournaments. Did you realize at the time how special it was and what a big deal it was?
I would say I knew they were important at the time. It was very important when you spend that much time just at practice and amongst those guys who become, really close to the group of friends. And you're working towards a goal. You don't spend that much time doing it without realizing that this is important. This is at this time in my life defining who I am right now. But I certainly didn't fully appreciate it until after it's gone, like so many things. Once you're out in the real world, and looking back, you think, wow, did I really do all that? Looking back at the photos when we were talking about coming in for this interview, me and my mom went through some stuff and some different awards and different team pictures and whatnot. I mean, there's quite a bit of things, of memories there for me. And it was a little bit of, my wife said that, you did all this stuff? And I said, yeah, even I think today, wow, I did that, I guess.
You got to the state tournament, you mentioned multiple times. You were state runner-up twice, right? For basketball and baseball.
State runner-up twice, yes. And I was very proud to be that. Of course, I wish I would have taken home the state championship. But looking back, you know what? We lost to some great teams, and we won a lot of games to get there, and I had a wonderful time doing it.
Was there one team that was, I don't know if I want to say more special, but maybe more unexpected that you didn't think, well, we're going to be okay this year, and all of a sudden you're in the state tournaments or you're in the state final? Any one of those 5 teams?
Yes. There's one in particular, and it's actually the basketball team, which I didn't play basketball in college, just high school. And the reason it was special was we had 5 seniors on the team. All 5 seniors started. All 5 of us had played together for years before we actually got to high school. Some of us have been playing together almost every year since 5th grade, and then some other ones filled in on the way. I can name the players: me, Jeremy Grev, Brent Lawson, Josh Moberg, and Jim Starks. And just that camaraderie that you learn from, 5 seniors, 5 classmates, that we just knew each other so well. We played together so well. And even though we weren't the most talented team, as the season went on, I think other teams and even especially our coaching staff said, well, we might have something special here, something these guys play so well together. And I certainly have fond memories of that time.
You beat a very good Hopkins team in the section final.
We did, yeah. It was one of my favorite moments. We're actually friends with some of those guys that were on that team, and it still gets brought up every now and then. It was one of my defining moments, I think, as a basketball player, was playing with that Maple Grove team, us 5 guys, and beating that team in the section final, no less.
You had a lot of great athletes during that time, and I think you were in the second, I guess you'd call it, full graduating class to come through Maple Grove, sophomores through
right.
Senior year. And in some ways, you haven't had that kind of group of athletes at that school since then. That many good ones at a time. Have you guys talked about that, or do you have any realization of that now, looking back, 13, 14 years later?
I certainly have realization of that now. It's hard to comment because once you get after college, you kind of lose touch with the upcoming classes in Maple Grove. But the way I realize it now is talking to other colleagues that had sports experiences or other friends of mine, and the way I talk about it versus the way they talk about their sports experiences, they always say, wow, you had all this, you think all of your coaches were great. Nobody says that. Nobody says, look at these players around me, they're exceptional. When we have coaches come to the school to recruit kids for colleges, they wouldn't see one or two players. They would come from the local schools and even some national schools, and they would just send a list, and they would just, and a lot of them were the class above me, my class, and a lot from the class below me as well.
Was there one teammate in particular you thought, boy, he's a great athlete, he might even be better than me?
Yeah, I felt that a lot actually. A lot of different players were exceptional. In certain sports, certain players stood out more than others. Let's see, for football, I always thought that Jeff Hess was an exceptional player. For basketball, I always thought playing with Brent Lawson was a special experience. And for baseball, basically the entire class of '99, which was 1 year before me, had excellent players, and I think we had maybe 5 or 6 guys from that played on that team, and that's the team that lost in the state final, go on and play college sports, which I think is rare for a high school to say.
That was a pretty good baseball. Was baseball the team that you saw going into high school that you were going to have the most success in, the sport rather? Because you guys had success at the youth level going before high school.
Yeah, that's right. We had success at the youth level. 3 of my 5 state tournaments were in baseball, and so starting at sophomore year when I made the varsity team and we started playing, and we made the state tournament that year and lost in the first round. The team had only a couple of seniors who were very, very talented seniors, but most of that class was underclassmen, and you just kind of see that, hey, and very serious about baseball. The class took baseball very seriously, and you could see that the next couple of years we would have something very special.
You were a year behind that first group, but early on in football, Maple Grove really took their lumps, and by the time you were junior year or senior year, I mean, you were a pretty good team. Did you take gratification in that you were able to turn things around in a couple of years?
Yeah, absolutely. I played made varsity my sophomore year. I played with that group of guys, and we got beat up that year. And once junior year came around, and we were as big and as strong as everybody else, we'd also played together as underclassmen at the varsity level longer than the kids at the other schools, and we took full advantage of it. We had some really talented teams.
So then bring me to college. You played football briefly, right? You played football and baseball at Mary?
Yeah, I went to the University of Mary to play baseball and also football. I played football until the beginning of my sophomore year. I broke my hip, and I had surgery to fix it up, basically put a plate in there to hold it together, which ended my football career. With no regrets, and people ask, could you do it over again? Would you? Yes. It was but while becoming a man, a defining moment in my life, my football career, that I'd do it again. I loved it. That was the truth of it. I loved it. Baseball, I played all the way through senior year. I missed 1 year because of my hip, of course, but I came back and finished college playing baseball.
Good college career, right? All-American?
Well, I was all-conference in college, captain, and I was academic All-American twice.
What was the experience like playing at a small school like that compared to playing at a big high school, and then you go to a relatively small college?
I enjoyed
not in the big city anymore and all that.
I enjoyed my college experience thoroughly. It certainly was not in the big city, and it was a smaller university, but it was it's in North Dakota, so it's very cold, and the way college baseball works is you get on a bus on Tuesday, you start driving south, and you just play teams along the way, and you turn around and you play teams coming back, and that group of guys becomes really close. I'm still friends with a lot of those guys. because this is a special experience, almost like a minor league experience when you're playing cold weather baseball because you spend so much time on the road. And when you're back, you just go to school for a couple of days and basically get right back on the bus and start playing again. And I really cherish those memories too. It's something not everyone gets to experience.
You stay active in baseball or basketball pickup or any kind of men's leagues or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. I don't play baseball in the city, and the reason in Chicago because there's no city league. I go to the suburbs and I live downtown. It's too much hassle, to be honest, with the traffic. I do play basketball. Sometimes I'll play in basketball leagues. Otherwise, I'll just play pickup at the gym. And yeah.
Well, as a basketball player, what was your strongest asset? All the sports. What do you think you were best at in the field or on the court?
Let's see. My best asset, I would say, was effort. I always gave my best effort when I was out there, and I thought when coaches looked at me, they knew what they were going to get. No more, no less. They could count on me being there, count on me playing my hardest, and always doing my best.
Well, I remember coaches back then talked about you being a good leader too. Did you take pride in that, or is that something you consciously did, or did leadership just kind of come to you naturally, either through actions or words to your teammates or whatever?
That's a tough question to answer. I have been told that before. Maybe some of both. How's that? Maybe some of it comes naturally, but you have to be pushed off the cliff. I've certainly had a talk from coaches before saying, we need a leader, and if you're not going to do it, I'm not sure who's going to do it. And you kind of look around at yourself and say, oh, well, okay, well, I can do it then. I put in the time. And once you start doing it, you get better at it.
You talked about your college teammates being close to some of them. Do you keep in touch much with the guys you either went to school with or played sports with or both at Maple Grove too?
Yeah, I do. I currently work with Brent Lawson and all of my brothers, who we played sports with for many years. I usually see quite a few of my classmates when I come back too. We actually keep in pretty regular touch, especially the ones that are the same class as me, 2000.
Three brothers or four?
Three brothers, yeah.
All went to Benilde.
All went to Benilde, yes.
You ended up in Maple Grove.
I did.
Happen?
Well, we ended up at Benilde because of Coach John Moore, who I would certainly list as a role model and an excellent coach. And I had let's see, how do I put this gently? For me, the classes I played with growing up were very tight-knit and very talented at sports. You already mentioned we won a lot of things just growing up. When I left to go to Benilde, that group just stayed together and kept winning. And over at Benilde, it was Coach Moore was in the process of turning that team around, and he did an unbelievable job. But for me, starting Benilde over versus the Maple Grove, I went back to Maple Grove to win. I had a great group of friends there, and they were saying, hey, we need you, come on back. And that's, and I went to 5 state tournaments at Maple Grove. And Coach Moore was very supportive in my decision. I love Benilde.
Which years did you go there then?
I went freshman year, so I went, 95, 96. Yeah.
So after college, did you go right to Chicago then, right after that?
Yeah, right to Chicago, yeah.
Tell me about what you're doing today.
I work at a proprietary futures trading firm called Marquette Partners. I interned there during college, and we trade futures contracts. I'm a senior trader and a limited partner in the firm. I work there with my brothers, and there's about 80 employees in total. We have a little satellite office in Minneapolis, actually, and that's where I was earlier today. We also have one in Denver as well.
Did you get back here for work or for family much at all?
I get back here for family a fair amount, and I usually try to, if I need to work, I can work down here. It's actually really convenient. And now with the birth of Vivian, our daughter, we're trying to come back more and more. My wife is from North Dakota, so this is kind of middle ground.
So you have a family now, so did you meet your wife in Chicago, or?
I met her in North Dakota, and she was going to school in Chicago, going back to school in Chicago. And so I started dating in North Dakota right before I graduated, and then kept dating her in Chicago while she was going to school, and ended up getting married.
And how long have you been married?
6 years, just 6 years. Yeah. Thanks.
Tell me what you like about the city itself.
About Chicago?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Chicago. I love the fact that it feels like this is where the world takes place. Like when you're there, you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. We trade a lot of commodities contracts, and Chicago is the futures hub of America, and all of the agriculture prices, corn, wheat, soy, and many, many other things are settled there in the floor. We know most of it's done in offices, including what we do. But you certainly feel just the pulse of America happening in Chicago, and it's like a feeling like you're an active part of the world in this specific time in history, and that you're involved in it, and that you're right there living it.
It's a great sports town. How much do you
It's a
enjoy
great
that?
sports town. It's a great sports town. I go to as many games as we can. I go to quite a few baseball games actually, and several basketball games. Football, I've been to a few. It's a little tricky there. One, of course, there's only 8 home games a year, and half of them at 0-degree weather. So it's a little more competitive. And of course, I'm still a Minnesota sports fan all the way. It doesn't matter how many Cubs games I go to. I am a Twins fan 100%.
Anything else about high school as you had a chance to think about it the last few days? You think, why not? It was really special, other than the 5 state tournaments. Of your experience playing sports.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I have many fond memories of high school. I always thought at Maple Grove, and even at the time, I recognized this, is that we had so many friends amongst our circle of friends of all kinds of different walks of life, as in not just a sports group hung out with the sports group, and the art group hung out with the art group. We all hung out together. For basketball, I remember we had the Crimson Crazies, and that group of folks, mostly from the class of 2000, was just across all kinds of different deals in school. I mean, from the garage band to the auto class to, I mean, everything, and everybody was real cordial. It was really, I always even thought there that I doubt this happens very much in high school, but it's certainly happening here, and I think it's a special thing.